Let's go. All right, I think I'm in. Man, what is going on, family? Welcome. Good evening. How is everybody? Bear with me as I go through still and make sure that all the settings is correct. You know, we love technology, but from time to time it fails us, right? So hopefully I should be good, should be streaming both Facebook, YouTube. I do believe everybody's good. Seeing a lot of folks here. Welcome, man. I see everybody's is here in the business. Unique View, welcome. See you. Feel for president, man. Don't worry about it. We ain't gonna we gonna have a good time this evening. So just come on in, chill. Vin Hennessy, it's always good to see you, Aunt. Glad that you are here. Peachy Dixon, glad that you guys are here again. Let me just kind of go through. Let's get ourselves in here and get comfortable and get ready for this evening. Man, so many things going on. First of all, how are you? I know with so much happening, so much going on, man, we are emotions all over the place, man. How are y'all feeling this evening, this Friday? Talk to your favorite uncle, cousin. Tell me how you feeling while I'm going through trying to see what's going on here technically, right? So let me pull this up again here. All right, where to go? Did I do it? Let's see. V-Mix also pull it up. It's there. Let me just find my people here on Facebook here. Okay. Is that? All right. I think we're all set. Yeah. Seeing some comments come in, man. Some new faces here, right? See, let me wait. Before I do this, let me make sure this everything is set up right. I always like to say with technology, want to make sure it's set up right. Forgive me for this. All right, title from the message. We got to make sure we're using the right thing here. Got to set it up so all of our stuff will come through. All right. All right, now it should be good, man. So let's go ahead and see who is checking in. Send this one on to the queue. Let me just double check, make sure everything is working. We got Uncle Vin in the building. Good to see you. We got some new faces. I see first. I'm assuming the fact that I'm here, right? We got hello, welcome. Can you see me? Can you hear me? That's always the first thing, right? Here we are, 8 minutes in, finally getting the technical issues dealt with. Can you see me? Can you hear me, right? Welcome. I see Hope Jones is in the building. Welcome. Hello to you. Thank you for being here. Dimitri is rough. Definitely appreciate it. Unique View says that she has a unique view. All right, well, we going to talk about your unique view then. We definitely going to get on that. Here we are. Who's here this evening? We have Michelle Anderson says hello to everybody. Melee 3000 says, what's up, man? What's going on to you? Welcome. Appreciate you. Glenda Kelly from North Carolina, right? NC, I hope. NC stands for North Carolina, and I'm welcome. So we got Facebook on. Phil for President has questions. Why do they take 50% of my income from food delivery from my PUA and employment? Man, send me an email. We'll definitely talk about that, Phil. We got a lot. Roosevelt Worley, welcome to the show. New name here. Glad to see you here. So many people. Yesenia, I see you. Welcome. I'm trying to get everything sent on over here. Just a little I see you good, good, good. Uh, Share Slays definitely says that you can hear me and see me just fine. So thank you. So thank you. Uh, Greetings from Detroit, D-Town in the building. I appreciate you, Mr. Webb. Oh, so yeah, a lot of people here, a lot of people on, man. So glad to see everybody here despite, what our week has been like, right? Because it has been uh, one heck of an amazing week. So, of course, today we're going to talk about, I wish, or not I wish, but if I would have known back then what I know now, right? Like we all say that. We all talk about, man, I wish, how things could have been different, better, if only I would have known. So we can't change the past, right? It's the past is the past. We've lived it. We've been through it. We've done it. But today I'm going to share with you what I would have done differently, or what I would have done back then using what I know now. So as always, real quick, we're going to go ahead, get to that. But first, the intro video. So again, what is going on, family? Man, definitely appreciate you being here. For those of you who are just joining or may not know who I am, my name is Tyrone Gregory, your favorite uncle, cousin, the self-employed tax guy, welcoming you to the channel. For those of you who's been here with me since day one, welcome back. Know that I love you and appreciate you. And so, yeah, today, real quick, before we really get into today's topic, a lot of conversations happening, right? Like this week has been an emotional roller coaster. Well, for me, I can only speak for me. That this week has definitely been an emotional roller coaster. A lot of things happening. Unless you live in Iraq or you've been on Mars somewhere, you're aware of everything that's happening across America. And a lot of people are using their platforms to talk about it. And I don't want to ignore what's been happening, but at the same time, I want to stay focused, right? I think, in my opinion, one of the things we could talk about to get rid of the systemic issues we have is economic development. I believe if everybody economically is equal, we'll definitely see a lot of difference. So I'm gonna stay focused on business now. However, as your favorite uncle, cousin, if you want to have that conversation, if you want to discuss, if you want to voice, right, if you just want to listen, I'm willing to do that, right? But I don't want to do it in this capacity, in this manner. I don't want to sit here on the camera and just have you looking at me and I'm reading your chats. If you want to have a discussion about what's been taking place, if you want to hear my thoughts about things that we can do as just individuals, not necessarily one particular race, but things that we can do as a group of individuals, I'm willing to have that conversation, and I want to put that out there. But like I said, I don't want to have it in this format. I want to be able to see your face. I want to be able to hear your voices. I want to be able to have that type of communication, that back and forth. So if that's something that you want to do, shoot me an email. And Monday, I'm willing to do it as soon as Monday. We can hop on. Google has a new thing called Google Meets, right? It's exactly like Zoom and everything, except for it's free for now. So I think we can take advantage of it. We can host up to 100 people in one room. We have unlimited time to talk. They said they're giving everybody 24 hours of talk time from now until September 30th. So we can take advantage of it. We can fit 100 people and we can talk 4 hours. Again, if that's something that you're interested in, having that personal conversation, again, if you just want to discuss, if you have ideas, if you just want to express yourself, I'm here to listen. I want to have a conversation. I want to talk. If you want to talk, if not, I understand. We want to focus on our economic development. That's what I'm focusing on tonight. But yeah, leave me a comment. Definitely. You guys should have my email by now. If not, I will definitely put it on the screen for YouTube. I'm not quite sure how I would do it for Facebook. I figured out. But it is UCTG at theselfemployedtaxguy.com. That is my email, UCTG. That's for Uncle Cousin, Tyrone Gregory, at theselfemployedtaxguy.com. Shoot me an email. I think the only thing for you to hop on, you just have to have a Gmail. If you don't have a Gmail, you can create you a Gmail account real quick and free, and we can hop on like that Zoom type call, and we can have a discussion. So, like I said, I just really wanted to put that out there because it has been an interesting week to say the least. But so getting to the topic of tonight, what would I do differently? Now, I'm gonna show you guys something. It's weird and don't laugh, right? Don't make fun of me too bad. But the idea of tonight's discussion came by way of something real interesting, something real weird, right? And I'm gonna show you. Let me see if I could actually find it here. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna share my screen with you. On my desktop, let me see here. Where is? Oops. And I'm telling you now, I'm really y'all gonna look at me like, really, Uncle Cousin? That's how we arrived at this, and I'm be like, yep. All right, let me make sure I can pull this up here. All right, so it's coming up on the screen, and I'm gonna show you something. So here is the preface to this, right? How do I say? COVID-19 has definitely changed the way that businesses are operating, right? Just recently, businesses are starting to reopen. Just recently, everybody's trying to get back to just doing things, right? Especially businesses, they still practicing social distancing, so they're opening up, but keeping things different. So this scene, I'm really trying to formulate this in my head because when I show you this, I don't want it to seem as weird as it's about to seem. So let me just go ahead and do it. Last week, I attended my godfather's funeral. Okay, and a couple of weeks before then, my uncle had passed away. And because of the situation, right, the funeral home wouldn't allow everybody who wanted to be there to actually be there. So on the fly, I just thought to myself, what if I was able to stream the funeral? So our family members who was in Texas, who was in other parts of Los Angeles, who couldn't physically be there, or maybe some who didn't want to be there because they couldn't come out due to the virus, that they would actually be able to see the services and still be able to participate. And so I did. And it was an easy thing to do, right? I took the tripod, took my phone, and just set everything up right then and there, and I live streamed the funeral. And so when my godfather passed, my other uncle asked me like, hey, can we do the same thing? Because we have a lot of people that want to be here that can't. So sure, of course, that's the least I can do to honor the man who's my godfather, who I'm actually named after the man. So of course, it'd be my pleasure to do so. So I'm gonna show you my setup. Okay, so I want you to ignore the fact that the picture was taken at a funeral, but I wanted to share with you because something came out of this. So let me go ahead and just show you this picture. So I don't know if you guys can see it. Is there a way for me to really kind of blow it up, I guess? I'm going to do it like this. So here is just my setup, right? That's the laptop that I use. Here's a mixer that I had. It's just the mixer that was in my storage, an old mixer, an old USB interface. You can see I had like a power strip here, and a small little dining table, a one-use table. And look at the setup, right? So here is an old mic stand that I have. This little mic pole right here. So I kind of set it up, put an old shotgun mic because, I recently just upgraded my mics. So I didn't get rid of the shotgun mic that I had. I still kept it and it came into use. That's what's here. And the webcam that I'm using right now. So that's the entire setup, right, that I use to live stream my godfather's funeral. And there he is, Mike Gaston Sr. May God rest his soul. Great man, lived this life, 90 plus years old. So lived a great life, but that was my setup. And it's amazing. And here's how this idea, like, how would I do it now? Because, unique view here in Los Angeles. He said, idea, you're absolutely right. Because here's what happened. So after everything was over and I'm breaking down, just packing everything up, the director of the funeral home approached me and he asked me, how much do I charge to do that? And I'm like, really, I hadn't thought about it. It wasn't something I was thinking of doing. It wasn't a business idea that came to mind. So I was like, I don't know, hadn't thought about it. What would I maybe charge? $50 if somebody else needed it? Because literally I'm just standing there not doing anything. The equipment, yeah. So it'd almost be like an equipment rental type thing. And so I said, give me $50 an hour. And he looked at me and he was like, nah. And so I'm thinking maybe $50 was too much. And he comes back, was like, that's too low. We would pay you $350 an hour. So of course my eyes got big, like, wow, just like literally, are you serious? $350 an hour just to stand here and do this for families in need? I said, and y'all probably gonna be mad at me, I almost kind of declined it a little bit. Why? And I know y'all probably gonna be going off on me and things here, but I don't know. $350 is definitely a good number. $350 an hour. We can make a lot of good things at $350 an hour, but I got so much going on right here that I'm trying to get accomplished for y'all right now. I don't know if I could. But what's funny is my father was standing right there next to me when the man told me that. And ever since then, my father has been like, man, teach me, I'll do it. So yeah, oh man, look, yeah, so I see the comments coming on here. So yes. And again, Hope Jones, you're absolutely right. Easy and simple. So when I talk about how I was started business, it came from the idea of me looking at that like, man, that was so simple. If I really were to engage it, what would I do differently? Knowing what I know now, knowing of how to start businesses efficiently, knowing what's happening in the tax background, knowing what's happening, what would I do differently? So that's what sparked it, because it's very interesting as I started to consider what was said, consider the amount, considering the time, like, is this, once I'm done with everything, all my projects, is this something I could consider doing? And if so, how would I do it? And it was like, man, as I was going through the process, I was like, yeah, definitely would do that differently, do this differently. So I kind of wanted to share it with you. So let's see here. I see a lot of comments coming in. First of all, man, I know it's weird. I didn't want to seem like talk about death and things like this on the channel, but Peachy Dixon, I definitely appreciate your condolences, and to everybody else, I appreciate your condolences. But as much as we hate to see people leave our presence and leave this earth, the man lived a good life. 90 years old. He was the first entrepreneur that I saw, the first person that I've ever seen work from home and be successful. So I give credit to him for, showing me at a young age, being that example. So as much as I appreciate the condolences, I'm happy. I'm proud because he lived a good life. So yes, let's see here. So somebody, and I just saw it. Hold on. The comments get to flying in here. I want to make sure I have everybody. Oh, yes. So is that what we calling it now? Friday night finances? Is that what it is? We're going to call it Friday night finances? Okay. Gotcha. Greetings from Detroit. Yes, welcome. Good to see you here. Glad that everybody's here. Yes, we're talking about the looters and things like that. Hold on, let me get to where we were here. All the way, man. Kenny B said there's a question. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be talking about this one here, 350 Sign Me Up. But at the same time, I'm assuming he said because I denied it, is I crazy? I know y'all going to talk about me, right? Again, I'm just putting this out there. It's still in consideration. I actually talked to the person of the mortuary, yesterday. We called it, and that it's something there, right? I'm not going to post this comment from Unique View. I see what you said. I'm not going to post that comment. But now, let's see here. Yes, and this is the point, starting here, okay? Great question. Great statement. A business should always fix a problem. And that was one of the first things that I really, when they talk about what I would do differently, one, I would start sooner. Let me just start there. I know we got comments coming in, and I'm definitely going to get to it. But let me say, the first thing I would do when starting a business is, honestly, I would start sooner. I wouldn't hesitate, even though I said I'm hesitating now, but that's good reason, man. If I do that, the business course I'm working on and everything else that I'm working on would have to be put in the fire, right? I couldn't produce it right now because I'd be too busy doing that. And that seems a little selfish, like I would be getting money, but I wouldn't be helping nobody. So I wanted to be mindful of that. But one thing I would do when I start is definitely start sooner, okay? Me hesitating, I should have been here, and I think I talked about this when I talked about the mistakes I've made in business. I should have been here a long time ago. If I would have started sooner, everything that's happening now would have been happening a long time ago. I would have been way ahead a long time ago. Another thing that I would have done is go fishing, okay? Kind of like what this business opportunity, yes, it seems like there's an opportunity here to, do streaming for funeral services, but I would definitely still go fishing, okay? And what I mean by go fishing is understanding, is this business feasible, right? We want to see that, is it solving a problem, and is it solving a problem for more than just one person, right? Say, for example, that funeral home is the only one that may want to do that, right? And that came from the funeral director, who knows that families are going to want to pay that additional cost. Is it important to them? Like, my family didn't pay, I didn't charge them, and that's my family. But what if there was a charge associated with that? Would families want to pay that additional charge? And then I have to be smart about it, right? If I'm being offered $350 an hour, I don't know how much they gonna charge the family. That just be my cut. So is this like the right time, the right market? Is it feasible? Is this something that people want to do? I would start there and ask, because in the beginning stages of my YouTube career, I just did what I wanted to do. This is the business I wanted to create. This is the content I want to create. I'm going to put it out there, okay? And that's what I did, but I didn't see if that's what people wanted, right? I just put it out there and hoped that somebody would want to hear what I'm talking about. And a few friends of mine listen. My boy John Phillips, who actually called me crazy, who is also the creates simple meals. Again, check him out Tuesdays on Facebook. But he listened to me, right? As good friends do, but that was it. Nobody else really listened to me because I just put it out there without understanding, is this what people want? That would be the first thing. And that's important because the first few years of my YouTube channel, right, if you ever go back to some of my earlier videos, they were listed under Action from Square One. That was my original business. The self-employed tax guy came about by the next thing I would do if I was start a business right now, and that is listen. I would really hone in and listen to the voices of my audience. Again, I was just Tyrone Gregory, founder of Action from Square One. And I would put out content about business, motivational, things like that. But it wasn't until I put out even the first tax video, right? The how to file the perfect tax return. That was done under Action from Square One. And I didn't listen, okay? It took me a couple of years before I started to listen. And what I mean by that is I was still trying to put out content as a business coach, as a life coach, as a motivational speaker. And nobody was listening. But then I put out the tax course just because I wanted my tax clients to have something to reference to. That wasn't even really part of the business model. That wasn't even part of the structure. It was just like a last minute thing and bam. So I didn't really pay attention to the comments, to the voices or anything until one day somebody suggested, they was like, man, as I'm reading your comments, as I'm going through it, everybody's calling you the self-employed tax guy. Why don't you just call yourself that? And I struggled with it because I was adamant on Action from Square One. I had vested a lot of time and effort into Action from Square One. Came up with brand colors, had shirts made. Pretty much everything in my closet was red, black, and white because that was the brand colors for Action from Square One. Everywhere I went, I had cards made. So it was real difficult for me to let go of Action from Square One. But then I really had to listen. Like when I went back and I looked at that video or that video series of how to file the perfect tax return, and I really saw the need, right? Like somebody said, businesses solve problems. Well, I saw a need that there are a lot of individuals out there who don't understand how taxes work. And guess what? I do. I have that knowledge. I have the ability to share with them how this works in business. And lo and behold, I think under Action from Square One, I had maybe 100 subscribers to YouTube, maybe. But the minute that I went from Action from Square One and accepted the fact that my audience, you guys, my family, gave me the moniker, the self-employed tax guy, the minute that I embraced that, changed everything. My subscribers kind of just like took off, right? Not to say that I'm where everybody is in the hundreds of thousands and millions, but to be almost at 30,000 subscribers as of this video is truly, to me, amazing. And that happened because I listened, okay? Listening is a very important part. You have to listen to your audience. You have to go in and see what words they're using because whatever language they're using, that's the language you want to use when you respond back to them. I do that often. I do my best to make it a point that whatever words they use to describe something, those are the same exact words that I use when I'm responding. I want to speak their language. I want to create that connection, but that has to come from listening. Even right now where you guys are leaving comments, I'm listening. Why? Because the more you talk to me and say, I want to know about this and that, well, I'm here to serve you. So I am going to give to you everything that you want, right? Not what I want. That was a mistake that I made. I did what I wanted to do in business. It doesn't work like that. We have to listen to our customers and make those things available, but we can only do that by listening. Okay, so let me see here. Let me see. I see we got some questions coming in. I want to make sure that I get to everybody. So let's see here. Kenny B, I guess Kenny B, you were guessing that the price I'll be charging or should be is at $500, but you were close. Yeah, you're right. You were almost on point because $350. And again, me not knowing the industry, I don't know how much funeral services cost. I do know that, unfortunately, every time there's a funeral service, we see a lot of people in the streets of Los Angeles asking for money or creating GoFundMe accounts. Well, which brings me to something else, complete sidebar. I don't know if it was last week or week before last. I was asking a good friend of mine again, my brother John Phillips, to do a soft introduction to somebody who I deem is a good financial guy. And he did reach out. I'm excited. So he agreed. I'm not going to tell you everything we talked about. We had a long conversation. That brother is absolutely amazing when it comes to finances. And he agreed to come onto the show and help us understand how to better position ourselves financially, especially as entrepreneurs and individuals. So I'm excited. We just going to pick a day. So we got a lot of great things coming here. Spoke to somebody. We're going to talk about nonprofits, because in the events that's been happening in a lot of week, there's been a lot of nonprofits. People want to, set up things. They want to provide to their community. They want to be better, just better pillars in their community, right? So nonprofit is a conversation that we're going to be having soon. So yes, let's see here. Let's see. I want to make sure here. Teach you. They want to do that. Give me a second here. I'm just trying to see here. Y'all, see, I want to put y'all comments on here and share with everybody, but y'all cussing me out in the comments, so I can't. We try to keep it PG around here. So I understand you're upset, right? Especially you, John. I see your comments, but yeah, I'm not gonna really put that out there like that. All right, so what else would I do? So first, I would start sooner, right? That's the first thing I would do. I would definitely start sooner. I wouldn't wait. There's a lot of reasons why we procrastinate, but I would definitely not procrastinate. I would get it started. I would do a feasibility study, okay, or go fishing just to make sure that my idea is actually something that people want, is actually something that people are willing to pay for. And to kind of piggyback on that, when you go fishing, you have to put something out there, right? Like I did it. In this scenario, I actually did it. To me, that was the fishing. Here's my setup. Here it is. This is the service. Is this something they'd be interested in? Somebody bid, right? The owner of the funeral home, they bid. That's a possible service. So creating that feasibility study, listening would be something I do. Really listen to your audience, pay attention to what it is that they want, not necessarily what it is that you want to provide, but provide to them what they want, because obviously you're creating it for the consumer. And the next thing I would do when starting a business would be to not form an entity. Okay, I gotta put that in there. I wouldn't form an LLC. I wouldn't form a C Corp. I wouldn't form anything. I would start as a sole proprietor, and I would do a DBA. That is the one thing I would do. I would do a DBA, but a DBA is not an entity. It would be me doing business as whatever name, right? So in the example of streaming funerals, the name I would create would obviously have to have something that describes what it is that I'm doing, right? It could even be streaming funeral services, right? Tyrone Gregory doing business as streaming funeral service. Why? Because you want to it's so many things out there. We are inundated daily with different types of somebody wanting you to buy something from them. So the name you choose for your brand has to stand out. It has to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Okay, that has to be known from the time they see it. So again, I wouldn't start as an LLC. It wouldn't be no point. I mean, think about it. What would be, and I'm going to share my desktop again, what would be the liability in this? For me just setting this up as is and just standing there for the whole hour. There is no liability in that, right? So I understand people want to say, well, I want to protect myself. I want to make sure that I'm good for lawsuits and nothing like that. But what liability would there be? Of course, maybe, the internet would go down during that time and the live stream would get cut off and there would be a lot of emotional people. Okay. If somebody wanted to take that to litigation, they probably would issue a refund. I wouldn't have a problem with that because I understand, but I don't see where I would need to set up an actual corporation or an actual LLC to protect myself. That would just be additional stuff I would have to do, which would bog down me and prevent me from being efficient in my business. So that's another thing that I would do. If I knew then, even in this business now, even with the self-employed tax company, I wouldn't have it an LLC, okay? The only reason it is an LLC, I figured, well, because I have one, I might as well make the best of it, right? And just do certain things. But I wouldn't do it that way. It would be more efficient. It would be more streamlined. I would keep those dollars that I'm saving from spending all this excess money with all these entities. I would save that, put that into the business. Because one thing, as I was thinking about this here, one thing I would do different is really, which is the next thing, investing into a team, all right? As sole proprietors, if we die, our business dies, right? And I'm not trying to be funny because this is at a funeral, but if we stop producing, our business stop producing. If right now something was to happen to me individually, the business wouldn't really continue on unless somebody else wanted to take over it, per se. So when I'm talking about team, we want to be able to scale up, okay? And so I got to thinking like, man, what if I wanted to go out here, take this funeral streaming business and go to multiple, funeral homes, and then everybody's on with the idea and they like the idea. So again, I streamed it from my YouTube page, right from the Self-Employed Tax Guy, made it private, so only people with the link can see it. I don't even think nobody else can even see it unless I give you the link. So I was thinking, but I'm only able to stream one stream at a time. What if there's 2 funeral homes or 2 funeral services or 2 homegoing services happening at the same exact time and they both want me there? How would I do it? At that point, I'm like, man, I would have to have a team, right? It couldn't just be me. And if I wanted to scale this business up to make it profitable, to make it known, I would have to have more than just me. And this is something that I'm learning on the fly, something I'm learning right now, because I'm very, I guess the word would be fearful of a team, because, I've been doing things for myself for so long that I find it difficult to really hand off tasks to do to people. It's funny, I know I keep talking about my boy John because while he's here, I keep reminding, we and him have had plenty of conversations like, when we don't trust anybody with our business because we want it done how we want it done, when we want it done. And if it's not there, if it's not done that way, then there's conflict, there's problems, right? And so I really have to learn. And again, I'm being transparent because I'm learning this now, that if I want to scale and grow my business, I am going to have to trust someone else to help me out. Okay. I think even now I could be a lot more productive if I had somebody helping me out, because as of right now, I do all of the recording myself. I do all of the audio engineering. So I do all the cleaning up the audio myself. I do all of the video, the post editing by myself. I do all of the SEO, everything involved in my business, I do by myself. And I realize, again, dealing with the situation that just happened, that I could probably be a lot more productive if I was to hand some of them things off to somebody else and be like, okay, here's the raw audio, clean it up, make it crisp, give that to the video person and say, okay, you know how I like to chop up the videos, chop it up so I can go ahead and upload it. And while they're doing that, I can be producing and creating a lot more. Okay, so it's like a light bulb finally went on top of my head. So that's another thing. Knowing what I know now, what I would do different is definitely get teams in place. Another thing that I would do differently now that I know is budget for the business, right? I really, one of these days, we're going to go on a tour of this office. It looks nice. And I know we see a lot of things on, social media and people, success stories, excuse me. And they have all these great things and these great tools and everything. And we think that's what we need. That's how I was, when I first started, I wanted to have the best of everything. Everything had to be the absolute best. But what I realized is that's not true. Like I said, I wanted the best. I didn't get it. I wanted it. But I spent so much time obsessing over having what I see the influencer have, right? Having the right lighting kit, having the right light box, having the right microphone, having the perfect mixer, the webcam, the background. Everything had to be perfect. And I spent so much time obsessing over that I didn't create, okay? And I wouldn't do that going forward. I would take what I have now. I finally learned to do with what you have. Going back to that image, you saw it. It was a very simple, easy setup. And with that very easy, simple setup, I have a possibility of earning $350 an hour. That's beautiful, right? So I wouldn't stress over being perfect. Some friends of mine, they know I consider myself a perfectionist, kinda, because things have to be right. I've got into many arguments with good friends, John being one of them, about how things has to be before we proceed. But I've learned to calm that down. Okay. Do I still strive for perfection? Of course. But do I stop until I reach perfection? No. So that's one of the things that I would do differently. What else would I do differently if I was to definitely start a business? I don't know. As I'm thinking of it, I'm really trying to think, what else did I do differently? So I would start sooner, for sure. I would do my feasibility study. I would listen to my audience. I wouldn't form any specific type of entities. Would go fishing, wouldn't worry about being perfect. And I would be strategic. Probably one of the things that I definitely would do, right? And I'm going to leave the last few minutes to kind of go back to the comments. One of the things I would do is analyze, or really at a minimum, look into a business plan, develop a business plan. It amazes me that a business plan, how many businesses don't have a business plan besides the idea that is inside their mind. The business plan is extremely important. I know we look at it and we think it needs to be this thick, massive document. It does not. Okay? It can be maybe 5 sheets of paper. The business plan is a breathing, living document, meaning that it's going to change as your business grows. Then the business plan. But to understand your market, to understand the sales, to project financially what needs to be done, you are prepared for it. That was one of the things that I really sat down and I went over what's called a SWOT analysis, or SWOT, which stands for what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what are my opportunities, and what are my threats. When I laid that out, it really painted a picture of how, if I wanted to do this funeral streaming services, how that would look. How would I manage it? What would be the logistical needs of it, right? Like one of the strengths is the equipment. I have it. It's all ready to go. So I'm good there. I know what's streaming. I know what's required. Good to go. I'm streaming now, right? So that's a strength. One of the weaknesses would be how would I get the internet? Okay, like, well, because it all depends on the internet. Luckily, I can try to do a hotspot, but my hotspot is only as good as the signal that I receive. So that would be one of the weaknesses. Another one of the weaknesses was like, again, I can only stream one stream at a time from my channel. I can't do multiple. So if I have, 2 funerals going on at the same time, how would I do that? But going through that process, working through that weakness allowed me to discover an aha moment. Like, I can do it this way. I can position it this way. And then it even helped me with the whole sales pitch, because somebody like, well, why would I pay you to do that when I can do it from my phone? Right? I'm not going to tell you what me, myself, and I discussed, but that was one of the things. Like, okay, that was a threat. That would be part of the thing. That's a threat. People being able to do it themselves. But I worked through it. Right? The opportunities, I worked through it. So now I actually have a business model, business plan that once everything get done, I can actually kind of go after there. So I'm gonna stop it right here. Just we gonna pause right here because we got about 8 minutes left, and I want to make sure that I am going through the comments here. So let's see here. Got a lot. Now here's something unique view. Who's in LA? Maybe we hook up. It says weddings are recorded, so it doesn't necessarily have to always be just a funeral. You're absolutely right. We can live stream weddings, do everything there. Here's a good one. Absolutely, would really like to see how to file the perfect tax return. I'm assuming that says for tax return series for 2020. You kind of beat me to the punch. That's something I was gonna do, because when I created that video, that was back in like 2016, right? A lot of the principles still hold true. Only a few things have changed. So that's definitely something that is on my board to do, is to redo that entire series, to go ahead and give us an update. Yes. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Yes, my good friend Maria says that's how I got her attention through the name, the self-employed tax guy. That's what I'm talking about, the name. That name was given to me by you guys, right? I had been doing taxes over 13 years, never considered myself to be the tax guy, right? Like you hear it joking about it in weddings and things like that. Or, I think it was that one Honda commercial when he ended up in the wedding and everybody saying who they were, and he was just like, I'm the Honda dealer. Something like that. Like, it was very, very simple here. So, man, I think I am missing comments, right? But I do want to make sure that I got everybody. So let me see here. I'm going back, so bear with me. Going back. All right, let's see. Let's go here. Okay, Ms. Nixon, I appreciate you being here. Says you stumbled upon the video at the right time. The idea of an LLC or DBA. uh, if it depends. For me, it all depends. DBA is always the best route to go. Um, Definitely because it puts a name to the sole proprietorship. Okay? So appreciate you. Mr. CH, it's good to see you. Again, I'm just going through comments. If I am missing you, by all means, let me know. Okay? Let's see here. Edgar, Mr. Decker, I like the avatar here that says, if I started a tax and accounting practice from zero, what would I do today? Honestly, I would do what I did, man, to be study, right? Because I want to make sure that I am aware of what's happening. One of the greatest things that I think I've done as a tax professional in accounting has surrounded myself with other tax professionals, CPAs, enrolled agents in accounting, because there is this stigma when you say you do taxes. Everybody expects you to know the entire tax code, right? And I'll be the first to admit, I don't know the entire tax code. I know the smidget of a tax code as it pertains to small business, okay? I don't know everything, but the minute that you say you do taxes, you get the full gambit of every situation possible. So it's good to surround yourself with other individuals who may have experience in that area. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't do anything different. I would get, because all you need nowadays, your laptop, the tax software, the tax knowledge. Okay? Put yourself out there, market, be good with people, follow up. I'm a lot better at that now. So that's pretty much the only thing I would really do. I would do it the same way I'm doing it now. I would just do it. Okay? If there's something specifically you want to know, again, definitely feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll be more than happy to help you out there. Andre from Chi-Town, I see you. And again, I'm not ignoring nobody. They're just coming in from all over the place, so I want to make sure that I get as many as I can. Oh, man, so we got some more people from the Chi-Town, from Chicago. Man, I loved Chicago when I visited. Downtown Chicago, the Navy Pier, the architect, it was truly amazing, right? Joe, what you mean you got your 501c3? You just got it. Okay. Something we need to talk about. Let's see here. Andre says, what about dog breeders? LLC or what? Again, dealing with the living, it's kind of hard to say. Are they aggressive dogs? Like, is there a possibility that when you're breeding these dogs and somebody has that dog for sale, that it could be damaged due to another dog? And if so, I would say maybe an LLC. But again, just getting an LLC, remember, from what we talked about, these last 3 videos, just getting an LLC won't do anything. You have to make sure that it's set up properly for it to actually be good. If you can't afford the full proper setup of an LLC, then start as a DBA and get you some good business insurance. And if you're concerned about still your assets, look into an umbrella policy, okay? That's that. So, let's see here. Miss Anderson is asking a good question. How many DBAs should I have? The main business name, but have a trademark and a brand. Should all those names be as DBAs? Good question. Because remember, DBA is you doing business as. And Miss Anderson, if you have your main business name, but you have a different name that's trademarked and that's your brand, then the trademark should be DBA as well. But that all depends. Are you doing business under that trademark? Is that what you want the public to see? Because the DBA is strictly for the public to recognize that there's this business using this name and this is this product. If your DBA is not interacting with the public, if you're not doing anything publicly with it right now, I wouldn't worry about a DBA. Okay, so I definitely hope that answers the question here. Okay, let's see here. Prince, this is a good one here. says that your friend is filing bankruptcy and shutting down the business, wants to give you the DBA name and the website plus domain. Is there a risk to me if I take it? Because it's a DBA, the name itself, no, you're not transferring any liabilities. Remember, DBAs are still sole proprietors. So the only risk is if that brand now has a negative connotation associated with it. If he's selling you the DBA because he's sullied the name, then that's the risk you're taking. You can take that DBA name, and if it's associated with all kind of negative, bad service, bad products, nobody's going to buy from you. But as far as the actual debts and liabilities, no. That belongs to the person who's social. Because remember, DBA is still under your own social. So you won't be taking on any debts and liabilities because that's under his social. And hopefully he closed everything out properly and been good to go. But if you take over the name, you're still going to have to register with your own. You're going to have to get a new tax ID number. Because there's a part of that for the application that says, you purchased the business. That's why you need a new tax ID number. You will set up your own bank account and things like that. So that the only risk involved is if they sully the name, you run the risk of nobody buying from you. Okay. What else here? Man, let's see here. Share. That is a good question. Let me get it here. How do you get a business trademark and brand it without breaking the bank? Excellent question. Share. And I'm going to say this. Trademarking, patent, copyright can get expensive, right? The application itself, I do believe, last I checked, is $225 just for the application. And that's when you look into trademarking and copywriting, there is certain numbers or certain, I forget what they call it, but like certain codes that says, okay, are you trademarking under this code? Are you trademarking under this code? Or are you trademarking under all three of these codes? And you have to pay $225 for every code that you're trademarking it under. But here's the thing. And I have to put the disclaimer because this is not legal advice and I'm not a trademark lawyer. I'm not a trademark attorney, right? But from what I've read and understood, the trademark is something that's automatically granted the minute that you start using that name in a commerce that the government recognizes. Meaning that the minute that you start, let's say, for example, you have ABC Company and ABC Company sells XY products. The minute that ABC Company makes a sale in an e-commerce, which for America, which is pretty much any platform that you sell, right? The minute that sale is made, the ABC Company has automatically been granted trademark rights. Re-register with the Trademark Patent Office to help increase our rights. So we, again, from what I've read, we automatically trademarks the minute that we make a sale using their name. We own the trademark, we can fight, we can win in court. We registered with the United States Patent and Trademark Office to give us that extra backing, right? It's like having them behind us is like having the Hulk on our team. When we go, we win. But the biggest thing about trademarking, like in every book that I've read, there's a little section that says, yes, you do this, you have the trademark. The rest of the book is all about how to avoid trademark infringement. That's the biggest thing about trademarking. You do not want to infringe on somebody else's trademark, because if you do, they can bring a storm down on you and cause all kinds of things to happen. So if you're worried about trademarking, I would say do your research before you hire somebody. Always do your research before you hire somebody. A good place to start is uspto.gov. That is the United States Patent and Trademark Office.gov. They have a lot of free resources, a lot of free information. You just want to check to see if that name is similar to someone else's name? And if so, is it similar in the same code, right? Like there's Delta Airline, right? Delta Airlines is trademarked, but then there's Delta Appliance Company. Their both name is Delta, but because they're in different industries, different fields, the trademark infringement isn't there. So it's possible. You just have to do the research on that. So definitely. Oh man, lots of comments coming in. It's 7 o'clock. Somebody says, please do not delete this video. No, I'm not deleting this one. This one here is going to stay up for a while because, the other ones I had to delete because of what they were. But this one is definitely not going to be deleted. Mr. Trey Sean says, I'm trying to start a nonprofit organization to help kids and teenagers in foster care who are aged out of the system. Okay, not sure a direction to go, but the videos I've seen have been helpful. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that, man. Anything I can do, definitely to help there. Like I said, I will be bringing on a nonprofit expert real soon for us to go ahead and get that taken care of. Man, goodness. So many comments. I apologize. I really couldn't get to them all. If there's anything that I missed, because again, it's 7:06. If there's anything that I missed, by all means, shoot me an email, leave a comment here. This video is not going nowhere. It is not going to be deleted. Definitely want to see here what's going on here. Ms. Anderson says, I contacted the University Law Department, Trademark Department to do promo. I just paid the filing fee once they complete. Oh, okay. I mean, that's a good one. Appreciate that, Ms. Anderson. Maybe contacting a law department and see if there's somebody that does pro bono work. Maybe get it that way. I hadn't thought about that, but that's definitely a good idea. Let me see here. Here's one question I am going to answer just because I don't want to leave nobody hanging in this instance. High Tech says, if I take a 10K loss, do I get that back on my tax returns? Absolutely not. Your loss is not a dollar for dollar refund, right? 10K loss will not result in a $10,000 refund, okay? Definitely a loss helps you in other places possibly, but everybody's situation is unique and different. So every loss will result in something different for everybody else, okay? Let's see here. Ooh, let's see. I'm going to make sure I'm having everything come up here. All right. Well, sketches to design. My sister, I see where you says you have a clothing brand and someone started a clothing brand with the same name, just added an S to it. Oh, that's hurtful because that may be difficult. From what I've read, when it comes to trademark law, if it sounds the same, if it's pronounced the same, if it's spelled the same, if it looks the same, it may be difficult to get that trademark. However, here in the U.S., we used to think of I don't know, you can raise your hand if you've ever heard of the poor man patent, right, or the poor man trademark, where you would write your trademark and patent on a piece of paper and mail it to yourself, and you would use the post date of the stamp as proof that you had it first. Don't work like that. Here in the U.S., we are a first come, first serve type of system. So even though, my sister, somebody may have their name, if you trademark it first, if you take it to the United States Patent and you trademark it first, it's most likely you'll be granted the trademark protection and you'll be able to have them cease and desist using that name and stop promoting their brand. It can be interesting, which is why we register. So we'll have that power to demand that somebody's using our likeness, our sound, our name to actually cease and desist. Interesting story when it comes to trademark. I didn't know that Harley Davidson actually patented the sound of their exhaust. Truly amazing, the fact that what we can do here in America. But again, we are way past 7 o'clock here, man. So I am going to go ahead and make sure that we end it here because we could be on here forever, man. Again, I'm listening. I see everything that you guys are saying. I apologize in advance for all. I definitely see a lot of comments that are here. I wasn't able to get to them, but I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go, as I always do, look through these comments. If there was anyone that I missed, I'll probably in the next session before we get to it, going to go ahead and address those questions. Then we'll get started. And as always, follow me on Facebook, right? You can give me a thumbs up there. Check me out on social media, Instagram, The Self-Employed Tax Guy. If you're new here and you like this kind of content, consider subscribing and hit the bell icon so you'll get notified. But outside of that, my good family, remember, last thing, just outside of that, if you want to have a conversation on Monday around what's happening in America, you want to hear my thoughts and ideas of everything that I think we can do, should do, things we can focus on. Feel free, shoot me an email, uctg@theselfemployedtaxguy.com. We'll go on Monday. It won't be live, won't be recorded. We'll just be having personal, candid conversations. Me listening, me talking, you listening and talking. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll do it using the new Google Meets. It's free. Nobody has to pay for anything. There's nothing to install. You can do it from your phone, computer, laptop, wherever. All you need is a Gmail account. So do that, and we'll go. Again, y'all know that I love you. I appreciate you. And from there, man, I will see you guys. Yes, everybody's saying goodbye. Much love to everybody. I will see you guys next week where we are going to talk about 8 income streams that you should definitely consider having. 8. Yes, that is 8 income streams that you should definitely consider having. That's what we're going to talk about next week. So make sure, put that on the calendar. Know that I love you, and I will see you guys